to another edition of Living in Shelby Township. I'm Kelly Kasuda, and here today we're at Yates Cider Mill. I'm standing with Adam Gaiman, the operations manager. Adam, thank you so much for having us.
Well, thank you for having us on.
Well, we're getting into fall, the weather's getting a little crisper.
Yep.
How is Yates Cider Mill getting ready for the flood of people that's about to happen?
Well, we've been getting ready since January 1, quite frankly.
Wow.
We spend all winter with repairs, maintenance, upgrades to take care of this old building, which was built in 1893.
Wow.
So it's on our National Registry of Historic Places now. So we spend a lot of time getting things ready, all sorts of things as far as our outside things, the tents and our apple tent. You can get fresh picked apples, hot dog stand, and all these extra things to do around on the grounds.
That's what I love about coming to Yates, is that there's so much more than just cider and donuts.
Right.
But you know, some of these things like petting, there's the goats that you can pet and feed, correct?
Yeah, correct, yep.
Yeah, what else is here?
So we've got the goats that you can feed, like you mentioned, as well as ponies on the weekend, pony rides for the kids. Also for the kids, we do spin art, and they can, you know, do some painting like that. We've also have some face painting they can do, let alone just our nature trail all the way down the riverside.
Right.
There's a couple trails back in the woods to enjoy, so families like to take hikes down there, and it's about 3/4 of a mile down. So if you go down and back, you got 1.5 miles in. So
that's some good exercise after you eat some donuts.
Fantastic, yes, fantastic. So yeah, there's a lot of things like that that can be done, and the kids just love running around and enjoying the grounds. Really, skipping stones in the river and tossing sticks in, and
you really could spend a couple hours here. You might think you're coming just for the cider and the donuts, but you could spend a couple hours.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you know, Yates is historic, and the community surrounding, especially to Shelby, to Rochester. What is it like being such a community, almost like an iconic place?
Yeah, well, actually, even on our website, we say right top and center, a community tradition since 1863, because that's what people do in Michigan. You know, they come to the cider mill, they make sure that they get to the cider mill every fall. So we are very blessed to have the capability to keep this place running, and we're so happy to do that and continue that tradition for everybody.
And it's also, when you picture Yates, you picture the spinning wheel.
Yeah.
And so many people have asked me, what does that really work? What does that do?
Yeah, so the water wheel...
Share the secret.
Sure, no, the water wheel is powered by water, but it powers nothing. So we kind of use that as like an open sign, more or less, but it is powered by the water. Inside, the actual press that we use, that is also powered by water. We have a turbine that takes power from the Clinton River, and you'll see in the back of the mill a long line shaft, and that is all powered by water. So we use that to power the press. So we still press under water power.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to ask you a personal question.
Sure.
Okay, are you ready?
Go for it.
Pumpkin spice season.
Oh yeah.
What is your favorite pumpkin spice thing?
Oh,
I have to ask.
A pumpkin spice thing, probably. Man, that's a good one. You know, we have pumpkin. There's a new product that I haven't even had a chance to sample it yet, but it's a mix that you can put together, and it's a pumpkin spice muffin, I believe.
Wow.
It's brand new this year. I think it'll be on shelves soon. We're just waiting to get the first order, and I think to get on the shelves.
I will be here for that.
You need to try
shipment.
that. I'm sure it'll be good. They don't we try to put the best products we can on the shelf. So
there's so much more. There's, you know, the pies, and I mean, I'm always surprised every time I go in there. You always have something more.
Yeah, we try to keep things fresh and new, and bring new products in, and try to make it as homemade as we can.
Yeah, and if anyone's, you know, debating which cider mill they should go to this fall, why come to Yates?
Oh man, you know, our grounds, every cider mill has a different feature to it, and some people have a farm atmosphere, and we have really the beauty of the Clinton River. No one else really has a river running through their establishment, and it's beauty. It's beauty. You know, man can't make something that nice. You know, it's just God's beauty, basically.
Yeah.
So we you know, if you come out to enjoy nature, I know that our spacing is tighter than a farm atmosphere, but the natural beauty of the river is really what seals it.
And it's a good community feel here.
A great community.
Yeah.
We love working with Shelby Township, Rochester, And then we have a second location up in Lake Orion at Canterbury Village.
Wow.
So they can service Lake Orion, Clarkston, Oxford, all of those towns up in that area as well.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Well, you all should come, grab some cider, some donuts, some pies, everything that's here. Bring the family and come on down to Yates Cider Mill. Adam, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
We are here at the Yates having a jolly old time.
Visitors are welcome to our spook-filled nature center with costume characters, fun scenes, and a few trembly tales. It'll be more spooky and eerie than scary and gory. For ages 3 and up, pre-registration is highly recommended. So come on down to the Haunted Nature Center, October 19th and 20th, from 6 to 9 p.m. And if you bring a small bag, there will be treats and no tricks. Check out the Burgess Shadbush Nature Center's Facebook page for pictures to determine whether it is appropriate for your child. All children should be accompanied by an adult. So come down to the Haunted Nature Center.
Dogs, puppies, good boys, and our best friends. There's no better way to bond with them than spending time outdoors. But when it's time for them to go, make sure you pick up their poop. It prevents germs from spreading and keeps the parks clean. Thank you for continuing to make Shelby Township a great place to live.
Have you ever wanted to learn how to use a compass or perhaps shoot a bow? Well, the Outdoor Skills Day at Burgess Shadbush Nature Center does just that. Our Kyle Wurzbach got in on the festivities and tries his hand at a little bit of that Dutch oven cooking. Let's see how he does. Kyle?
Backed by popular demand, the Sportsman Skill Day at the Nature Center taught local kids and adults various outdoor skills and preparation for hunting season.
So today is our Sportsman Skills Day. So what we're doing is we're doing talks about the local history and the hunting history or management history of wild turkeys in Michigan. We also have an area where we are doing BB guns and archery demonstrations and giving kids a chance to give that a shot because it's always a lot of fun. Our Dutch oven group is here cooking and handing out food samples, kind of showing people how to do outdoor cooking, especially using cast iron, which is something that a lot of people know about but maybe don't know how to use. So that's always a lot of fun and the food is delicious. And then we have an orienteering course set up, so it teaches kids the basics of using a compass and kind of gives them a little course to run around and do that. So it's a lot of fun.
Kids enjoyed themselves at the event, including Nate, who loved learning archery.
It's just it's really fun with my friends, and it's fun because you get to have fun and talk to your friends.
And his friend Joey found out how important it was to know how to use a compass.
It's pretty hard, but it'd be kind of easy and it'd probably save your life because the GPS can die out and the compass can't.
Megan believes that these skills are important for us to know to not only connect ourselves with nature, but to also become less dependent on technology.
I just think it's really important for people to get out and kind of remember that some of these skills are still useful. Because if you're stuck in the woods, without a phone, how are you going to get back? So it's kind of interesting to give kids kind of another way to solve these problems.
In the most recent national survey of fishing, hunting, and wildlife-associated recreation in Michigan, 4.4 million people participated in wildlife-related recreation in our state. So the Nature Center saw the opportunity to teach kids about recreational hunting.
Our talks about recreational hunting is kind of a nice way to introduce kids to what hunting is in Michigan and why it's done and why the laws that are available for us or the laws that are implemented. So it's kind of important for them to learn that kind of stuff.
Megan says that they will continue to host this event year after year, so that's good news for aspiring hunters. At the Nature Center, for Living, I'm Kyle Wurzbach.
Hunting season is fast approaching. We're talking like 2 months away. So right now you need to get to the target range to perfect your aim. Look no further than Riverbends Park for your archery and skeet shooting needs. Our Tyler Smith talks to trustee John Vermeulen about how Riverbends Park is affordable and a good place to shoot.
The Riverbends Park is acres of beauty and fun, making Shelby Township a great place. But the Riverbends Park includes a trap and archery range that makes Shelby unique.
It was wonderful. You know, I'll never forget the time with my father and brother and mother. We'd come out to Shelby Township. We'd make a day of it. We'd go to Stony Creek Metro Park. We'd go to Yates, Cider and make a full day of it, play a little bit in the river. And when we'd come out here and we'd shoot probably about 100 rounds between me, my brother, and my dad, sometimes like 125. Spend the day out here, and it was a great family activity. We'd come out starting in the spring, and probably every couple of weeks we'd come out here and shoot. I remember when this place was the state park, and the very early days, we had the missile base that was out here. There was a barracks that was on the other side of that fence, and it was enclosed. And you had soldiers working there. It was a secured area because they had, you know, armed weapons.
And Mr. Vermeulen is not the only one to share memories here.
You know, I go back a long way up in this area too, when Warsaw Park was there, Green Glen was there, and this park was part of the state parks. That was actually before the Superfund came in and encapsulated all that stuff. But the whole area has got a history, and it's a wonderful history for Shelby Township. And places like this make Shelby a better place to live. It's just great to have this here.
Even though everything is not restricted, when the military was here, there are still rules and regulations for the range.
So our archery and trap range at Riverbends Park is offered to the public between March 1st and December 31st. That's Thursday through Sunday. In January and February, we're only open on weekends, so that's Saturday and Sunday. We're open 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. or dusk, whichever is earlier. So we'll close at 6 o'clock on the nights that it gets dark a little earlier. The cost for the range is $4 for juniors, seniors, and military personnel, active or retired. That's a daily pass per shooter. It's $6 for adults, and then we do offer an annual pass, $30 for juniors, seniors, and military members, $40 for the calendar year for adults. So we offer those two options. Safety is paramount at our range, and it's our first priority. We ask that patrons who come to enjoy our range obviously bring their own ammo, their clay targets. We also ask that they bring eye and ear protection. We do have that for sale at the Nature Center, which is just down the road, so you can pick that up if you need to. We offer shooting stations at our shotgun range. It's a trap range only, so no handguns, and you have to bring your own throwers. We also provide the shooting bales of hay for the archery, and for that we ask that there are no broadheads used at the archery range.
To my knowledge, there's nothing in the metro area that even compares to this. This park, when Shelby took it over, it's only gotten better. We've got ball diamonds over there. We've got a bridge that actually crosses, and it went into disrepair at one time. There was one that was a long, long time ago that was there, but it fell into disrepair, and then Shelby Township ended up building another one. You see people out here fishing and enjoying themselves on the river, people actually catching fish. I mean, this is a great park. When you think about all the trails that are well kept, that people don't have to worry about slipping on the ice. You have the ball games that kids have to go to, or even adults. I mean, you had to pay big bucks for that. I mean, there was a place on Mountain that just closed down, so we do have a market on these ball diamonds too. And it's a great opportunity and amenity for our kids. We just got the splash park. Shelby Township is the community in which to live for the very reason that it's not just a place to live, a place to send your kids to good schools, but it's the recreational amenities, and it's the big picture in all of this that makes Shelby what it is as a place to live.
Come down to the Burgess Shadbush Nature Center, October 19th and 20th, from 6 to 9 p.m. for the Haunted Nature Center. For ages 3 and up, Pre-registration is highly recommended. Check out the Burgess Shadbush Nature Center's Facebook page for pictures to determine whether it is appropriate for your child. All children should be accompanied by an adult. So come down to the Haunted Nature Center.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
So today at the Nature Center, we are actually getting to know a little bit more about one of our bearded dragons, Sunny. So Sunny is actually kind of a local celebrity around these parts. She has been at the Nature Center for over 10 years, and she is a fan favorite for a lot of our animal programs that we do here. Sunny is our female bearded dragon. Founder, our other bearded dragon, is a male. So her coloration, though, many people ask us if her coloration is because she's female, and that's not the case. She is what we call a wild type colored bearded dragon, which means this is the color that bearded dragons would be normally if you were to find them in the wild. Founder, who is, if you've ever seen him, a bright yellow color, he is what we would consider a fancy dragon. He has been bred to have that color in his skin. So normally in the wild, bearded dragons are not quite that bright of a yellow. They will be a little bit closer to Sunny here. So bearded dragons live total to be about 15 years old, which means Sunny here is pretty old for a bearded dragon. She's also naturally from Australia. Bearded dragons don't come from North America. They don't live in Michigan here. They are all the way from Australia. They get here because they're very, very common in the pet trade. Now, Sunny used to be somebody's pet, but when they got her, she was about the size of my finger. And when she got to be a little bit older, they decided that they really didn't want her as a pet anymore. Too much responsibility, too responsibility, too long of a commitment, so they decided that they were going to donate her to us. So that's why we always tell people when they look into getting pets, especially reptiles and amphibians, they tend to live a very, very long time. So always think about that when you get a pet. Now Sunny here is also, as you notice, when she's looking at you, she is missing her eye. A couple of winters ago, Sunny got very sick. She actually got an infection in her eye because she rubbed it against something. It got some bacteria in there and it got very swollen and infected. So we had it removed by a veterinarian and she's now very, very healthy again. In fact, she's actually a little overweight because we've been spoiling her because, you know, she's a celebrity. It's just the way it works. So, but yeah, so Sunny is pretty fun to have around. You guys should always, if you're ever in the area hanging out in the Nature Center, definitely ask us if you can pet her, because not only does Sunny love people and love to be held, but she's super fun to feel. She has a very interesting texture. I'm not going to tell you why right now, but she's definitely got a different feel depending on how you pet her. So you guys should come find out how that is.
Have you ever noticed that small shelf behind the information desk in our Shelby Township Library? Well, it doesn't just shelve books. It actually has a theme every month. So we sat down with Elizabeth to learn a little bit more.
So that nice counter behind the information desk is a great way for us to show different things in the library that people might not know we have. So every couple of weeks or month I do a topical display that shows and highlights some of those interesting things we have. So for September, I looked at some of the obvious choices like back to school or autumn, but then I started thinking about all the different days that happen in a month, and that there seems to be National Something or Other Day every day of the year. And I looked up what there is in September. In September there were a lot of fun days, and so I decided to put out a display of books and movies and CDs and things that we have that highlight different days in the month of September. A lot of people already know that September 19th is Talk Like a Pirate Day, so I put out a book about learning how to talk like a pirate. Really useful skills like that. But there's some other important things, like September 22nd is both Bilbo Baggins and Frodo Baggins Day, so that's National Hobbit Day. So I put out the movie version of The Hobbit that we have here at the library that people can check out. In fact, anything on that display people can check out at any time. One of the things that I really love about doing these displays is showing people things that they might not even realize we have. For example, one of the things in this September display is that one of the days is Sewing Machine Day. And so I put out a couple of books about sewing machines. People might not know that we have that. They might know we have books about how to sew and patterns, but not actually how to use your sewing machine or repair it or do things like that. And we have things right here that we'll show you. Sometimes the displays we do are topical, they speak to a certain current event. So earlier this summer, for a week, we did a display commemorating the lives of both Senator John McCain and Aretha Franklin. And we put out different materials that we had about those people who both affected American lives in so many different ways. Other displays we do sometimes are about a month, like February, of course, is Black History Month. I might put out a display of notable African American figures. But I also like to play around sometimes, so while I didn't do an autumn display in September, I was thinking come October, you should come and check out my fall display, where every book, movie, and music CD I put out will have the word fall in the title, like The Fall of the House of Usher or Before We Fall by Noah Hawley. A lot of fun things I'm going to do with that one.
That's it for this edition of Living in Shelby Township here at Yates Cider Mill. I'm Kelly Kasuda. Thanks for watching.